we go. Welcome, welcome, ladies, to You and Lou Graphic Design's debut Young Women in Business event. I'd like to warmly welcome each and every one of you to this event. I am Fazila Isaac, and I'm going to be your MC for today. So, as in everything in our lives, we have to begin and end in the name of Allah. So, we'd like to start with a dua from Abba Atia, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah into this event. And Abba Atia, ready?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi, boy. It's a Saturday, guys. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبر وقنا عذاب الفحر وقنا عذاب الدين واحشرنا يوم القيامة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. ربنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين.
It is an absolute pleasure to be standing in front of each and every one of you today. We are happy that you took time out today to come through and support You and Lou Graphic Design. I think we all understand the importance of being independent women, independent Muslim women at that, as we follow the teachings of Khadija radiallahu an, and we become the powerhouses that we learn about all our lives. Now, having all of you here, taking the time out of your Saturday means that you guys are here to learn, to collaborate, and to understand the importance of being a young woman in business. It's not just about making money. It's a lot about making money, but not just about making money, but it's about empowering yourself and learning from people who have come before you, who understand concepts. Now, being a networking event, right at the onset, I'd like to place a challenge for each and every one of you. And we're going to check on this challenge at the end of this event. So, seeing as it's a networking event, at the end of this, I am going to come around. Each person needs to have connected with one person sitting here. We have someone who's going to be your mentor. We have someone who's going to collaborate and have a mutual benefit with the business that you're either starting or have started already. Are we up for the challenge, ladies? Are we up for the challenge, ladies? Perfect. So I'm going to check in with everyone at the end. Remember, the worst that someone can say to you is no. If you want to get into business, you got to learn to negotiate your way in and out of everything. That is your job. Don't think you hire a salesperson and that salesperson is going to do the job for you. If you are not going to take care of your own home, no one else will. Your business is yours. So I want you guys to take up this challenge. And at the end, everybody, and I mean everyone sitting here, is going to tell me who they connected with and what is the mutual benefit we're going to get from that. Yes? Perfect. All right. So I'd like to firstly acknowledge, it does take a village, absolutely takes a village. And I'd like to acknowledge two such companies or organizations who have come through for our little Umama here. Well, not so little, but I'd like to acknowledge Salam Media, humanitarian journalists, a power media house who has come forth and supported her in this journey. I'd also like to say thank you, huge thank you to Malaika's Education and Resourcing Consultants. These two organizations came out in support of her, and they are one of the biggest reasons why this event will be such a success. But most importantly, each and every one of you that is sitting here. Without you, this event would not be what it is, right? I'd like for you ladies to be interactive, speak to each other, speak to us that are here. I've been in business for a long time, and I can tell you that you cannot do this alone. But also, whatever's stopping you from starting, ignore that. Ignore the noise and be like Nike and just do it. It's going to be tough. You're going to have that roller coaster ride that we're going to go with. You're going to have months when you really sitting like the Real Housewives of Dubai. And then you're going to have the downward slopes. And those are the months where you sit, you stand in front of the mirror, and you ask yourself, what did I do with the money I borrowed myself? Right? So you need to understand this is a journey. This is a journey, ups, downs, but you've got to see it through. Once you start, see it through to the end. Because like I said, this is your house, your business, your independence. And there's nothing like waking up in the morning with purpose. So ladies, let's hope the panel that we have today, we have an amazing powerhouse of women speaking to you. Most importantly, they are here to give you the nuggets of their experience. So let's take from what we hear from them. Take what you will use and leave aside what you will not use, because all of us, our journeys are different, okay? So we're gonna start off by introducing the lady of the day, Ms. Umama Moruledi, who's going to tell us what has inspired this event, inshallah. So let's give a warm welcome to Umama Moruledi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. I hope you're all well, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the event so far. I am beyond happy and content seeing you all here. It warms my heart truly. I'm sure a lot of you already know me, but for those who don't, my name is Umama, much known as Umama Lu. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Springs, and I am the founder of UN Lu Graphic Design. I am extremely thrilled and thankful to see you all here today, and I cannot even begin to put it into words. It is something so special to my heart. A warm welcome to everyone on the live stream as well. We're so happy that you were able to join us virtually, and we hope that you enjoy this event as much as us that are in the room. This event is such a personal dream of mine, something that I've been imagining for a long, long time. And seeing it come to life is actually so insane, because it was just a dream, something that I always said, one day I'll have the event, but here we are today, alhamdulillah. Although I may still be young, I'm passionate about entrepreneurship, especially in spaces that we, as young women, struggle to find spaces in. Today, we're showing that not only can we do it, but we can do it with style, heart, and strength. For those of you who know me, you'll know how much the women in my family mean to me. I come from a long line of powerful, inspiring entrepreneurs, starting with my mother, Afa Hasina, and my grandmother, Dr. Hafiza, who will be our guest speakers today as well. Having them here sharing their knowledge and experiences means so much to me, and I know they're going to inspire you all as much as they have my entire life. Also, we have the incredible Ms. Tasneem Valley joining us all the way from Dubai. Her presence adds much more brilliance to this event, and I can't wait for you to all hear her insights. A huge thank you goes out to our media partner, Salam Media, and our proud sponsor, Malaika's Education and Resourcing Consultants, for making this event possible. Your support is invaluable. And we couldn't have done it without you, honestly. This has been such a roller coaster, and just having you guys behind me and taking me along the way is something that I cannot begin to thank you for. To everyone here in person and the live, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wouldn't be able to be here without you all.
This event is so much more than just business. It's about creating a supportive community where young women can thrive, share their stories, and uplift one another. I hope that today will spark new ideas, new connections, and even greater dreams. My final part before leaving you all is something very, very special to me. I have to put the phone down for this. That everybody knows UN Lu graphic design. And you think that it's UN Lu because of Umama Lu. Get it? UN Lu, Umama Lu. But it's actually not. It's you and Lu. Because we're doing this together and we're creating a space for you and I to grow in this world of business and to be the better versions of ourselves. And so with that, let's make today a memorable one, and Jazakallah so much for coming.
Very well spoken, our young mogul in the making. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your efforts. And for every single person who's sitting here, inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you grow in leaps and bounds, no matter what you are doing. Whether you are in business or not is irrelevant. Inshallah, may Allah accept from each and every one of us. So, now, we spoke about the times when businesses are going to take a dip. There's a reason why your business has taken a dip. It's important for you to learn why. You know, any business, when they tell you to put together a business plan, they say, put on a SWOT analysis. What is SWOT? Strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Why do they talk about the weakness and the threats? Because you have to recognize them so that you can put together a contingency plan and make sure that either those things do not happen to your business, or when they do happen, you have a plan in place to make sure that that does not end your business. You've got to accept that there are weaknesses. Somebody who cannot see the weakness in themselves and in their business, you're going to run into problems. So recognize what this is. We are here to grow. No one wants to see the next person fail. But if you don't try and fail, then what are you doing with your life? Regardless of whether you are working, things are so expensive now. Start that side hustle. If you have a passion, go for that passion and the money will follow. That's just how it should be. Do it for yourself. So now we're going to introduce someone who's going to explain to us, why do businesses fail? And I'd like to introduce Dr. Hafisa Ali. Dr. Hafisa has been a nurse throughout her life. She then went and completed her PhD, and she is now Dr. Hafisa Ali, mashallah. Now, Dr. Ali, also, as she's retired, she has gone into entrepreneurship, and she is now a seasoned entrepreneur. So who better than someone who's in the game to tell you why do businesses fail and help you understand how to get through these paces. So let us give a warm welcome to Dr. Ali.
A very good morning to everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. How are you all this morning? Are you well? Well, I am very well. I think the happenings of the morning, they speak for themselves in terms of the legacy we are leaving behind, okay, in Umama. Her initiative is what has brought us together here today. And as she has alluded to, and even our program director, in business, you cannot do it alone, all right? Networking is important, right? And we need to actually work together towards a common goal. So when I was given this topic, there are so many things that come to mind. And when I was preparing for it, it was like getting carried away and talking about what needs to be done. But I had to manage myself and say, no, stay focused. The focus area for today is, why do businesses fail? So, having been in academics and all that, I'm just going to say, we are going to make it as informal as possible. We are going to make it interactive. We are going to be approaching it in an interrogative manner where I'm going to be asking questions, and then a reflective approach whereby you are going to reflect. So some of the questions will be requiring you to reflect rather than answer. Okay? Because you go home and you reflect and then you work on those answers, right? So we call it in big words an interrogative reflective pedagogy, okay? So we are going to interrogate, we are going to reflect, and then you are going to learn from the interaction. So I think Zila mentioned and Umama also mentioned, but what I'd like to start with is that business success starts with us, okay? It starts with you and I, and it starts with all of us. So the questions then will come in terms of how many of you firstly have had a business and the business failed? Or how many of you know of businesses that have not worked? All right? Let us just have conversations, right? Let us have a conversation. Anybody would like to take me on in terms of your business perhaps that stopped somewhere? Or somebody that knows a business that did not work out? Let us have an interaction, participation. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. That is wonderful. So what is coming out is poor planning. You can just make a note for me. Right, poor planning is one of them. Thank you so much, ma'am. And any others that you'd like to share with us? We will just take maybe two more. Someone who knows of a business that failed perhaps, or if you had started off something and it didn't work. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, bright, lovely, sunshine. So let us interact and make this a very nice morning. Anybody? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So you just shelved it for a while because something came up. So there was a distractor. Okay, thank you very much. We'll take one more because of time constraints. Any other experiences of businesses that have not worked out? Yes, ma'am. So what is the key? I actually just want to understand the key concept, sorry. Okay, you struggled with marketing. Thank you very much. That is critical. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, shukran for that input. Thank you so much for that. Yes, let us say that with what makes businesses fail, it starts with you. It starts with you in terms of the you here, in terms of all of us, All right? Why then do we become the common denominator when it comes to business failing? All right. The first thing that happens is you will agree that you start off a business having thought of something, correct? But what is critical is you need to do a clear market analysis. So here there was a lack of an understanding of the market. So if you start a business without understanding your market, okay, that's where the problems may come. Another aspect with you, meaning us that start businesses, we are obviously in the leadership position. Am I correct? You are a manager, you are a leader. And then the lack of knowledge of managers and leaders pertaining to the gap in the market. You start a business, maybe you sort of just thought of something and you decide, whoa, I'm going to start. But you haven't really done a marketing analysis for you to understand the need of that particular business. So you start a business and that business is not really relevant for that location that you've even chosen it for. All right? The other aspect is, as you said, ma'am, poor planning, lack of planning. One does not plan that, do they want the business here? Is there a market for it here? Do I understand the mission of the business, the vision of the business? Where do I want to take this business to? So businesses get started without the vision. So you don't have a future state in terms of where you want to take it. So it means that you are rotating around one place, but you're not even growing. And if even a plant doesn't grow, it is doomed to die, isn't it so? So it's very important then to plan in such a way that you plan for your resources. So another aspect is starting it, you don't plan for even resources. You want to get into it, but finances are not there. Infrastructure is not there. And when it comes to having human resources, which are a major contributor to business failure, then business owners go and hire the cheapest labor. The cheapest labor without background information, without knowledge of the products. So people call and they want to know your offerings, but the people, you and the people cannot articulate, right, the product clearly for you to be able to sell it, right? The staff within the business do not understand the mission, the vision, the values, right? The values of the business. I've got our business operations manager here, and I'm always saying, make sure everybody knows the vision, the mission, the values of the business. So that is also another aspect, all right? And then we need to really reflect on other things, right? In terms of unsatisfactory partnerships, right? We talk, Zila's talking about networks. Maybe from the networking, that could be carried to a partnership. But what may happen is the partners that you may bring onto a business may not be adding value. They may not have the passion that you have for that product. Some of them may contribute positively, but some of them may actually contribute to the failing of that project. So the lack of passion for the product is also a major, major factor in businesses failing. Because if you're standing and talking about your product, people must feel it. People must feel the relevance of it, right? So having that passion is important because it's also going to mean that you will be giving people the confidence for them to buy that product, all right? And then funding is a major issue. We've mentioned it in the beginning. You've got to come in and have, having startup capital. But some of the products get started, without capital, but you need to actually maneuver yourself in such a way that you are able to grow step by step, right? And then acquire capital for support, right? And then we are constrained for time, but I'm looking at another factor, which is a lack of adaptability. I always say that COVID came with a devastation that we cannot begin to fathom, isn't it so? For us that are here, some of us, we are saying, praise be to the Lord that we are here living to tell the tale. But within that COVID environment, everybody was out of work. Remember the first 3 or 4 months? Remember? And how many businesses closed? We know that, right? And that was the time where we were taught that in businesses, you have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable. You have to think out of the box. All right? So the lack of adaptability then leads to a lot of business failure, as happened in COVID. Right? So there are things that needed to be done during that time, right? Which could have made some businesses to survive. But I'll leave that for another day, because today it's just for why do businesses fail. All right? Just remember the lack of adaptability. And then, okay, the lack of direction. The lack of direction. Businesses start, but there's no direction in terms of this product, where you want to take it, and then not understanding the market, not understanding the competitors. Who are your competitors? Not understanding what are the competitors doing best that is making them successful, so that you better what they are doing, right? You can take from the strength of competitors, but within competition laws and the patent laws and all that, and you can better their best practices. That is critical. And then customer service in organization. I think we all have stories to tell. We all have stories to tell. Businesses close because businesses do not have an understanding that they are there purely on the basis that they are dependent on the customers. Customers are king. Customers are the very existence that they are, yes, that they are surviving, that they are standing. But what happens is when you phone, there's this saying that I was your customer, now I'm not, right? I was your customer, now I'm not. And then when this author was asked why, then he said, I phoned and the phone rang about 10 times and no one answered. I phoned, and when I asked about the product, people could not tell me clearly what the product was. I phoned and I asked for something. I was told I was going to be called back, and I was not called back. Can you see that? So I decided to take my business to the company next door. That is profound, isn't it so? So know your customers, know that they are there, they are paying the rental, they are the people that make your company to stand, all right? And then the lack of responsiveness, we've mentioned that. And then focusing on the few key clients. I think all of us can name the key clients that we have, all right? But what happens is one tends to focus on those key clients. If you've got 2 or 3 key clients, so you put all your focus on them. But what if things are not going well, they cannot give you business? What happens? And you've got a whole world around you, right? Which is a potential customer for you going forward. We are all guilty for that. As I stand here, we are all guilty. But it's about knowing how to get around those things and focus on things that can bring you business. And clearly also it's about focusing on futile efforts. You know, focusing on efforts that are going to take a lot of your time. Lots of time, and you leave the important things that are going to generate revenue for you. You put so much of effort on things that are not going to generate revenue for you, and then you lose out there. And then business failure, lack of performance management. How closely do we manage the business that we have in? You've started a business. I have someone I'm mentoring here who left a management position and she went to her, to start her business. So now I want to say, from the time you left, have you monitored how you are doing? Because if you cannot measure, you cannot manage. Understand? So it's about monitoring, measuring, and then to be able to manage the situation. And then critically also it's the lack of compliance, right? Lack of knowledge of compliance. Businesses are operating, some of them are not registered. Then you don't comply with SARS. You don't comply with OHS Act. You don't comply with accreditation issues. Then you find that legislation then can also make you fail because of your lack of knowledge to be compliant. All right. So that is the aspect. And then having said that, I actually just want to say that in summary, hiring the right people is so critical because they are the people that will make your business to grow from strength to strength. Identifying a market, a niche market, a gap in the market. If you believe that you want to start selling potatoes, you must know where those potatoes are needed. You can't just decide to get a bag and go and stand where there's a huge other areas or next to a potato field, for an example. Okay, so having said that, I actually would like to just open it if I'm having more time in terms of, in terms of what are the other things that make businesses fail. But what is critical also is that to survive, just to survive, which is going to be the next session, it's about us as business people reinventing the businesses all the time and reimagining these two words, right? Reinvent your business and reimagine it all the time so that when you're working on your business, you're always striving to make it the best version of itself. We need to forever be striving to make sure that when anybody walks in there, nobody knows that person, but that person gets the best service. All right? Knowing the products, being ready to serve the client because your business actually depends on the client. How the client is made to feel is what's going to make the client come back. And it's what's going to make the client or the customer to go out and talk about the business elsewhere. All right, positively. Because positive feedback of a business, people won't talk about it because they expect a good service. But it's the bad service that people will go and talk about and tell maybe about 100 others about how terrible the service was. And those are the things that kill the business. All right? Having said that, do you have any other experiences that you believe, maybe even from looking at the other side, your experiences that you feel will make you not to go back to a business? Let us just have a few minutes. 1 minute left, okay? So I do need somebody to be managing me all the time. Right, 1 minute left. So one example or two examples, can we share them? In terms of what made you walk away and take your business away elsewhere. Can anybody share with us? What bad experience have you had that made you feel that you're not going to do business with that particular company? Yes, ma'am. Walaikum salam.
This just happened recently. I actually bought the ball and then I bought at home. They double charged me and I ended up getting paid cash. And I thought it out. The person was writing so I stopped holding the ball and I started watching Uber because I was satisfied with the service. And when I talked to them about double charging me, they told me that I should wait because they were not supposed to double charge me in those days. So from there, I decided to look at it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll take one more. We'll take one more. Thank you for sharing that. A bad experience that made you take away your business and go elsewhere. Anybody? A bad experience. Bad experiences that made you take away your business and go elsewhere? Well, I can tell you an example. I saw on the status, one of the people, that's on my status through this training and development environment. She was advertising, she is from Benoni, ironically. She was advertising primary healthcare services and whatever other services. But what caught my eye was she said the services are also in Port Shepstone. And I got excited. This happened last week. I got excited. Then I called her. And I said, wow, I see you are now in Port Shepstone. I do have a granddaughter there. We will, who's married there. And I would like her to come, then contact you in the future to use the clinic. To use the immunization services. Then she says, what training do you want? I said, I have said that it's not training, it's to use the services, right? Your primary healthcare services. Then she says, I don't seem to understand what you're saying. Can you make yourself clear? Obviously, I didn't continue. Understand? So she lost a client. So the message then is we need to be very, very clear with the services that we are advertising. And also we need to be clear in terms of what is it that we want. In closing, I want to say that effective leadership and management in businesses is what will contribute to business success, right? Let us not be business liabilities, where we then will contribute to the failure of our businesses. With those words, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity and all the best going forward, Mama. Assalamu alaikum.
Some excellent advices from Dr. Hafiza Ali. Alhamdulillah. I hope each of you have heard this and you are going to take this with you. But also, I just want to address something the lady had mentioned. You have a problem with marketing. There are marketing companies outside who can do it for you. Ladies, don't be afraid to outsource what you cannot do. We are superwomen, we know, but we can't do everything, right? There are companies out there who will help you do what you need to do. You have a problem with admin, get someone else to do it for you. You had a problem with concentrating on the one business while something else came up. Like Dr. Ali said, a distraction came through. Why not then get somebody who has a consultancy to then run that aspect for you? You are still running your business without letting go of what you have started. Once you started, you've got to put every effort into getting it to where it needs to be. It's your job to do that, not your employees. And like Dr. Ali said, you need to make sure that your clients are key. That's not to say you let them walk all over you. However, you have to make sure that you guard your money, and your money is with the clients that are coming in to give you that money. So beautiful, beautiful advices from Dr. Ali. We are now going to shoot all the way to the DXB. We're moving to Dubai, where we have our next panelist or our next guest speaker, who is Ms. Tasneem Valley. She's not with us right now. So we do have an issue with the projector. So we're going to ask the ladies, if you'd like to actually have a visual of Ms. Valley speaking, you can open up your phones. It's on the Salah Media live stream. So you are able to view her when she is speaking, right? We will have the audio here as well, so you can just listen to her as well. Now, Ms. Valley, she is a skincare specialist, world renowned. She has a beautiful skincare clinic. She is known as the glass skin expert. She is definitely a woman who we should look to for advices. And she is going to come through just the way we spoke about why our businesses fail. Let us now learn how to make these businesses a success. Now we're going to shoot over to Ms. Valley, and she is going to give us her nuggets on how to make your business a successful one. Do we have Ms. Valley on? All right, take it away, Ms. Valley.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Can you guys hear me? Oh,
We can hear you clearly.
okay. I am really so disappointed that I couldn't be at the event and to meet each and every one of you personally today. But this is something that came up quite last minute, and I really couldn't turn it down. The reason that, first and foremost, Umama, I admire you wholeheartedly, my darling. The Almighty grant you all the barakah and the success, and inshallah, your business grows from strength to strength, especially because you are sharing knowledge amongst Muslim ladies and young entrepreneurs, and we need more women like you in our community. So like I've been introduced earlier on, my name is Tasneem Valley. Believe it or not, yes, I am a glass skin expert. It's a name that was given to me by my clients, but skin was something that I was always passionate about. However, skin wasn't the first thing that I actually studied. When I matriculated, my parents, being brown skin parents, insisted that I get a degree. And at the time, my mom and dad weren't interested in what degree I pursued, as long as I pursued a degree, because beauty wasn't an option. And believe it or not, after I matriculated, this is just a quick history about how I got into the industry. After I matriculated, I got my, I had to stay at home for a year to take care of my mom, who was involved in a car accident. And then a year later, I obviously applied for teaching because my mom started sitting on my back, insisting that I needed to study, and the gap year was over, and now I needed to think of my future. And really, the only thing I wanted to study was beauty. At that time, my parents didn't have the finances to put me through beauty, because beauty schools were really expensive at the time. You had to pay for every course that you did. And obviously, I didn't want to put my parents under that pressure. And ironically enough, my dad worked for Revlon, which was one of the biggest makeup houses of the time. And Revlon refused to give me a bursary for beauty, yet they insisted that they would give me a bursary if I took up a profession or something with a degree. I went with a friend who needed company, and she went to go and apply for teaching. And when I was there, at registration, the lady saw my matric results, and she said, "You realize that with your results, you can apply for a bursary." So I felt happy for my parents, because at least my mom and dad didn't have to go through the stress of paying for varsity fees. So I phoned my mom from campus, and I was like, and that time I had to borrow a cell phone because we weren't fortunate like you girls. We didn't have our own phones. And I borrowed a phone from someone and told my mom, okay, I'm going to be teaching. She was so excited. And I told her that I'll be doing my degree in education, and the campus will be paying for my school, like my fees, and this is the story. I qualified as a teacher I started my degree in 2000. In 2004, I qualified as a teacher. Every year we had to go for teaching, what was it, as a, guys, you know what, I've got a bit of a chemo brain, so you will lose me here and there because I forget. But I know you go like as a locum teacher, like you're going to student teacher. Thank you, Prima. You go as a student teacher for 3 weeks at a time. And initially I thought, okay, this is my thing. I loved the kids. I enjoyed interacting with them. After like every 3 weeks, you become a bit teary because you get attached to the kids. And I thought, okay, you know what? This is the thing. Maybe teaching is meant for me. Right. 4 years into teaching, I got my degree, alhamdulillah. And in that year, my husband proposed, and him and I got married in the in the December, 2 weeks after my graduation. When I got back from honeymoon, I got hold of a newspaper and I started looking for schools that offered part-time beauty courses because my heart was still set on beauty. I started teaching at my old school, which I schooled at Liverpool Secondary in Benoni. But can I tell you something? Because I hated teaching at the time, because my mind was so into beauty and skin, my classroom was probably the most ugliest classroom. I had no charts. I had no tablecloth on the table, because I knew that if I became so comfortable in this environment, I would be teaching with my teachers who had been teaching for the past 50 and 60 years. And that's something that I didn't want. So I made sure that I wasn't comfortable in my environment. And I will always, always, always be eternally grateful to my mommy and my daddy for encouraging me to do teaching, because it was my teacher's salary that put me through beauty school. So every weekend, so during the week I would teach, and every weekend I would go and I would do beauty. Obviously, long story short, fell pregnant twice, a course that's supposed to have taken a year and a half, took 3 years, but I persevered because beauty was my thing. It was something that I was so passionate about. And that's one thing that I've learned in life, ladies, is that if you are passionate about what you do, you will not work a day in your life. You will give it your heart and your soul regard. It sort of becomes like a drug. When you turn your work into something that you're not ready, it becomes part of your life. It becomes your sukoon, if I can put it that way, your happiness. So I know, so now fast forward, this is now 18 years later, alhamdulillah, I can finally say it took me, girls, 18 years. Last year, I opened up my own rooms, alhamdulillah, through the mercy of the Almighty. I started off in my backyard. Everybody used to call my salon a Zozo. But it was fine. I started off and I was going to persevere. Then from there, I moved on because I always had a dream. The dream was always to get bigger. The dream was always to get better. The dream was always to see myself working alongside an aesthetic doctor, because I didn't want to just be seen as the local therapist that did waxing and threading. No. My dream was one day, and inshallah, I pray to Allah that this dream of mine still gets answered. I still want to be the therapist to the kings and to the queens. I still want that private plane I still want to get that call and say, I'm sending the jet. We're having a big function this weekend. You need to come and do all the sheikh's faces. That's still a dream of mine, because the moment you stop dreaming, that's the moment you stop trying. That's the moment you stop pushing. That's the moment you stop working harder. And in all this time, the only person that I was competing with was myself. I wasn't competing with the beauty therapist next to me. I needed to better myself. I needed to be the best in what I did. And then it came to a point where, yes, beauty is made up of a multitude of different courses and treatments that you can offer. But I wanted to be the best in one. I offered waxing, I offered threading, threading is something I still can't do, even though I tried. I offered laser, I offered, I did makeup. But my one thing that I absolutely passionately love and still love 18 years later is doing faces. Because when a client wakes up from their bed and looks at her face, and when I look at the joy in her face, and when she looks at me and she says, oh my God, I look alive, my face looks so amazing. That's where I get my happiness, seeing it in other women. Because we know as women, if our skin looks amazing, we feel amazing. And that's the one thing that I love. It's bringing out the best in other women. So like I said, chemo brain again. Sorry, I'm so sorry. But I might be skipping what I want to tell you guys. Oh yes, competing with myself. So it's always about competing with yourself, not competing with the person next door. The one thing I dislike in our industry, especially amongst us Muslims, is that this one, I started something and this one copied me. Ladies, no one copies no one. We are all using each other as inspiration to better ourselves. That's how come I always tell my girls, if you want to compete with anyone, compete with yourself. You know what your intention is. Your Rosie was written even before the day that you were born. Look at Saudi, 10 million Dubai, 10 million Abaya stores, all of them next to one another. But what do they tell you? We don't have what you're looking for. Go to our brother next door. That's the one thing that we don't have, and that is tawakkul. Whoever's meant to come into your door will come into your door, whether your price is cheaper or more expensive. Number one, it is written. So if you compete with yourself, I guarantee you, you will be the best in the business. Yes, you can look at somebody who has been in the business for maybe 5, 6, 7 years more than you or longer than you have been. When you're looking at somebody who has more experience, don't be shy to go up to that person and ask that person, please, can we sit down? Give me your advice. What can I do? How did you start? But like I said, it took me 18 long, hard years to get to where I am today. And it was only through my, like, I can, they say, like, when you look back and think of the du'as that you asked for, and you can see those du'as manifesting, it was through du'as and hard work. You have to really put in effort. You have to put in passion. It has to come from your heart and your soul. And something simple, like, yes, we can say, but this one is doing that, and that one is doing that, and the market is flooded, and okay, I tried that, it didn't work. Try, do something, not because someone else is doing it, or not because you are seeing that, oh my God, look at that person, they started a scarf business, and they're doing so well, let us open up a scarf shop. No, do it because you love it, because you have a personality for it. Also, when choosing, remember one thing, when you are a business, you are the face of your business. You represent your business. Like I always tell my clients, would you go to a hairdresser whose hair looks like crap? No. You are always the face of your business. I don't know how many times people have stopped me at the airport. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. 2 times I got away from duty and customs because the ladies looked at my skin and they all said, ma'am, what did you do with your skin? And then from opening up my luggage, we went to doing a skin consultation, and that's how I got away from paying a fine. Even the cops, and it's not even called bribery. The cops on the road, when they stop me to see my ID, and when they want to know my age, I always say, you want to know my skin age or you want to know my real age? And then we end up talking about skin, and I end up getting away from paying for a ticket. I got so many of those, only because I drive too slow and not too fast. But anyhow, besides that, I am here to tell you that whatever your passion is, follow it, regardless of how small you are, or in age, I mean, how young you are, how old you are. It is never too late to pursue a career. Remember, we have the most amazing and the most, what's the word? The most amazing woman to look up to in Islam. Bibi Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. She was the master of entrepreneurship. She was a businesswoman. What's stopping us from becoming amazing businesswomen in today's day and age? I'm going to tell you. We have too much of envy and jealousy amongst us. Someone opens up a business and is successful. Or how did they get so successful? Or how did they, or it's because they know this one and that one. And we have to work so hard. It's not about that. Like I said before, your Rosie has been written. Use inspiration from everybody. I myself follow doctors and aesthetic clinics and aesthetic centers on social media just to see what's new in the market. It's always about educating yourself. The more you educate yourself, the more you are going to improve in your business. Another thing is, which I've learned and I've taught my girls as well, social media is it's an excellent tool to promote your business because that's how people get to know you. Marketing, an excellent tool to promote your business. Good marketing is very important. I think gone are the days now where we get influencers to market our brands. You are the influencer. You market your own brand. Your clients are your influencers, because through word of mouth, that's how your brand gets marketed. Not the people who have 12 million and 13 million followers. Those are not your influencers, because people will say they're just getting paid to promote something else. You are your biggest influencer, and your clients that come to you and repeatedly buy things from you. When people ask them, who did you buy this from? Or how come you're looking like this? Oh, I love your abaya. Oh, I love your scarf. And they'll say, no, I got it from so and so. Through word of mouth, that's how your business is influenced. Your character is a human being as well. That's very important in your business. You don't make meat and fish out of your clients. Clients that are more wealthy, you treat them with respect. Clients who come to you once in a blue moon, you know what, I only see a once in a blue moon, take your product and leave. You treat all your clients with equal respect. You make every client feel that, you know what, you walking into my business today has made my day, has made my business, because we need our clients more than our clients need us. There was something really important that I want to tell you all now about, yes, social media. The evils of social media. We all know that Nazar, evil eye, it's a real thing. When you even when you are posting pictures of your business, always post it with the intention of Bismillah and Ya Allah, I'm doing this purely to promote my business, not to compete with another person or to show off. If there's somebody in, and I learned this from a very close friend of mine, and she says, if there's somebody in your industry and you follow them, and when you look at them or their Instagram page, and you start questioning, oh my God, like they're so much busier than I am. What am I not doing that they are? Automatically, you start developing little feelings of hasad that you don't realize you're developing, and then you're creating nazar on them, which affects them. In a case like that, if you get that feeling in your stomach, mute that account. Don't follow it. Rather follow people from other countries, people that you don't know, people that don't know you, because you will see that if you don't know what the person next door to you is doing, you will be more focused on your journey instead of worrying about getting to where that person is. Focus on where you are right now. Focus on where you want to be. Like I said, you guys know where I want to be. I love you all in South Africa. I love all my clients, Benoni, Joburg, Durban. But at the end of the day, I do want to be in a palace here in Dubai, to be doing the Sheikh's faces. Inshallah, that will come. Allah knows best. But I am competing with myself, nobody else. I try to learn how to better myself in everything that I do, and I use my criticism, which is something that we get in every business as positive. What is it as positive? Or how to change myself positively. I just can't remember. COVID and chemo is really bad, but anyhow, I use the negative criticism that I get not to bring me down, but to see how I can improve myself. So inshallah, I think that's all that I wanted to say. But like I said, if you're working a day in your, if you love what you do, I promise you, getting up isn't getting up for work. It's getting up to make you feel better. And remember, intention. I always say our deen is so, and I tell my daughters this, my Zahra, who has started a beads business, she started when she was 16. My Safia, who's 16, and mashallah, she started her candy palette business. I always tell my girls, your intention is very, very important. If you are making food, try to make food with wuzu. Bismillah, and make sure that you are clean when you are preparing food for others. Imagine the joy you bring in somebody when they eat your food and they're saying Bismillah and they're eating something. Imagine somebody who wears your hijab and they're tying it so beautifully. It's because of a hijab that they bought for you. So whenever you are, whatever business you start, make one intention in the morning. Ya Allah, today whatever I sell, please let the person that's buying for me wear it the way they're supposed to be wearing, and bless them, and in turn bless me. Ladies, I'm really so heartful that I can't be there with all of you today. Inshallah, I hope that this dua, like I'm a big appa, lapak. Allah forgive us all, because I'm also a sinner. But anyhow, I hope that this talk made some difference, and I hope that you took some word of it, some inspiration from my talk. And inshallah, if there is another event like this, and if I can make it, and Allah willing, then hopefully I will be there. And I'm not sure if this can be interactive, but if there are any questions, please feel free to ask. Assalam. Okay, I'm not going to greet yet. First, let's see, are there any questions?
Any questions, ladies? No? No? Okay, no questions. Jazakallah.
One thing before I leave, I would love, please to just give a shout out to my two representatives there, my two amazing soul sisters, Saida and Sadu. Jazakallah so much for being there and for representing me. I love you girls and I wish you all the success in your businesses, inshallah. And all of you sitting out there today, I wish you all the success in your businesses, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, Ms. Valley.
Ameen.
All right, so ladies, I hope we've learned something from there. Oh, yeah. All right, I think we'd like to acknowledge the two representatives who are here. I think it's on this side somewhere. Was it this side that Tasneem had mentioned? Oh, there we go. There's one there. And don't be shy. There's a second representative. Just one. Alhamdulillah. We are happy that you are here. We feel Tasneem's spirit here in you. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so I think we have learned quite a bit from Ms. Valley, but I'd also like to give you some of my nuggets, right? So when you start a business, when you make a decision to start a business, remember, if you have a journey, you decide you're going to go on holiday, you have a destination, right? You're not just driving aimlessly. You know where you want to go. So there's something in business called an exit strategy. You have to know what you want the outcome of your business to be. Not next week, not next month. At the end, when you're nice and old, when your business has been running for 20, 25 years. Some of your options are, I want to sell my business. I want to make my business go to a point where I can sell it for 2 million rand. I can sell it for 1 million rand, 5 million, 35 million, right? Please do not limit yourself. If you're going to go into business, don't ever make the mistake of limiting your potential and thinking, my business, I'm only selling cupcakes, so the most amount of money I'm going to make is 20,000 rand. No, that's not you. You can have a whole lot of bakeries that you are running. So don't take your business for granted, okay? I just have an announcement in between my exciting speech. JD03, a Nissan. JD03, a Nissan. The car is open. Please go close it. We are living in South Africa. Please go and close your car if the owner is here. Thank you. Okay, so we were speaking, done with the safety of the vehicle, we were speaking about an exit strategy. Do you want to sell your business after a few years to somebody who's going to take over? We have venture capitalists out there. We have people who are out there who are there just to invest. Their business is to invest. So they will buy your business from you and they will continue with the success that you have started. You've made money from there. That's one exit strategy. Another exit strategy you can have, do you want your business to be a legacy for your family? Is that why you're going into business? So the first and most important thing when you decide, or if you've already started, it's never too late to have your exit strategy now. You can decide now, go home now and say, even sitting here, right? I decided what I want is in 20 years time, I'm going to sell my business and I want it to be valued at a certain amount of money. And in 20 years or 25 years even, you sell that business. You will make money, you will retire early, or you can just start another business after. But when you start a business, please do yourself a favor and put together your exit strategy. Know where you want to be, the end of that journey. Plan for that end of the journey. That's the only way you will know what steps you need to take in between to reach that exit strategy that you plan for yourself. Right, so as you guys can see, amazing speakers. I hope we are taking the little bit. I love the fact that the young lady here, she's got notes and I keep peeking at her notes and she's literally writing everything that she's taking, information that's going to work for her. She's out there taking it. She's going to go home and she's going to be a success because she knows exactly why she came here. We all know why we came here. So let's make the most of this amana, this time that we've taken to sit here and listen to the ladies who are speaking to us and giving us these little advices. Like I said, Take what's going to work for you, leave what's not going to work for you, right? We are not for everyone and not everything is for us. So learn to be selective in everything. Right. Okay. So we're going to have our next speaker. We know there's nothing, like I said in the beginning, there's no way that we live without the blessings of the man above. Nothing. You can start a business. You can go do whatever you want to do. You can work for somebody. It doesn't matter. But if you're not going to take the man above into account, there will be no blessings in your particular business. So the next speaker that we have is going to speak to us and tell us how are we able to put barakah and blessings into the businesses that we have. This is Apa Hasina Ali. She is actually the owner of a Darul Uloom Madrasa, Hasinul Islam. She's a mother. She's a life coach. She's also an anti-bullying activist as well. Many other feathers in her cap, alhamdulillah. So she's going to speak to us about how to put the blessings into our business. Apa Hasina?
No pressure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone. I'd like to start off by saying that I am extremely proud of my, yes, not so little Umama, who's my daughter. And I think she's done. What happened? The second thing is honesty and integrity. But the first one is trust, okay? And the second one is honesty and integrity. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that respectful and trustworthy businessmen will be with the prophets and will be truthful and the martyrs of that. Which means this will be honest in our meetings. We will, inshallah, get to high ranks. When we are transparent in our meetings, we know priceless and honest about what we offer, then Allah is getting to every transaction. Okay? Think about it this way. When you are honest, customers can truly trust you. Right? And they are more likely to return. Not only will your reputation grow, but so will your business and more opportunities. So, truly be honest and integrity with you. The third one, as especially also mentioned, is Bismillah. Right? The word Bismillah basically means in the name of the Almighty. In everything that we do, we begin with the name of Allah, with the name of the Divine. Right? So we often forget that the simplest things that brings a bigger blessing. So we want to start the word today. Say Bismillah. Take the name of Allah. Right? Our Prophet told us about that we begin anything in the name of Allah, we actually call it a blessing. So imagine you're opening your shop or logging onto your online store and you begin by taking the name of Allah. You are truly breaking the blessing. Everybody is so irrespective of what. But that point is my favorite one, which is give charity, give sadaqah. It might seem strange at first, but I don't have money, but I need to give money. Yes, we don't forget the responsibility, right? So, have you heard, if you go to a travel to Saudi Arabia, have you heard of the store called Al-Bayt? Yes, right? So what does Al-Bayt sell? Like fried chicken, right? Chicken nuggets, fish fingers. But if you know Al-Bayt, there's always a long line out there of Al-Bayt. Okay? And the reason for the success of this business is because the owner, the founder, many years ago, he made a decision that when he started the business, he said that he's going to give 5% of the profits to charity. Okay? And that's what he did. And yes, he was doing more and more. So when he passed away, his son took over. And when his son took over the business, they said, because of our dad is to give 5%, we're going to give 10%. And as you know, our rate is still running very strongly today, right? So if you give, you get more, irrespective of how wonderful your business is doing, but you keep on giving to charity, right? Last but not least is to keep your promises and maintain excellent character. In business, you've got to be kind to your customers, right? I was so far off with what everyone asked me, why did you turn to business? So we've been working with people to get together and something out, and I dealt with two businesses, right? Which is something to do with business. And the one business was one that took quite a long time, and the other one was someone paid me. But I promise you, the person I dealt with this recently, didn't know her, this follower on Instagram, she was so amazing. She was so warm, and she was so honest, and she kept me updated throughout the whole process. And I definitely said that I will be going back. Whereas the one that I've been with for the longest of time, you know, when I told her, for example, that I received my goods, just like, okay, cool, get that one in. Whereas the other lady was so warm and so welcome. So I think that's very, very important that we keep up our good manners and our good akhlaq with our customers. You know? And we know that in Islam it's so important to have that good character, but more so now in the business because we want to get something out of it. Okay, so that's a good point that I wanted to mention in terms of the quality of the business. So may Allah qualify in your efforts to make the businesses successful this world and thereafter, and you will help your numbers inspire others with ethics, hard work, and a lot of times with beautiful words from Papa Hari, how to bring blessings into your business. So I just want to take 1 minute. I know we're gonna have a panel discussion later on, but I want to know who is in business now. For these ladies that have been so quiet for a minute, I want to know if anyone of that side in business started a business or wanted to start a business. What business are you in? Painting. What do you paint? Can I tell you what we're doing now? I just want to see how you're going to do an elevator pitch. So the time you're painting, I have to keep asking you questions about your business. There's another point I was going to speak about now. When you have a business, the moment someone asks you, do you have a business? Yes, I do. Don't wait for me to ask you what is your business about. I have to prompt you for so many answers. Right? So if there's something that you're going to take from this today, is the moment somebody asks you about you or your business, put your business woman cap on, put your sales woman cap on, and bore me with your business. Let me know any and everything you can tell me about your business. But I'm done speaking to you. I actually work at you. I've been a customer for years, right? So the moment someone asks you about take an opening, please make use of every opening you have to speak about your business. Be a walking, talking Instagram page for your business. Right? So that was just
But we take a lesson from that. We take lessons from everything that we do. And, accepting this invitation from Umama to actually be the MC of the event was mostly because I wanted everyone who's here to come out with something that's going to either inspire you to start or to be bigger and better than you are now. When you leave here, you cannot be the same person that you were when you came here this morning. It hasn't been a lot of time in this session, but I'm hoping at least one thing that you take from here is going to take you to the next step the moment you walk out of these doors, inshallah. Right, so we just speak about one of our biggest sponsors here. We have Salam Media, who is the alhamdulillah, they have helped Umama in bringing this together with Malaika's education and resourcing consultants. They are a skills development facility. There's a lot of courses that they offer. Please take a look at them. You will not go wrong. Alhamdulillah, Salam Media, and the humanitarian, the trust and belief, the things they report on are things that they have a finger on the pulse. Let me put it that way. Something you want to know about what's happening, Salam Media is on it. All right? So, we want to introduce one of the senior producers I've had the pleasure of working with, Nasreen. She's going to speak to us about Salam Media. She's been in the media industry for quite a bit, so she knows exactly what she's speaking of. So I'd like to introduce Nasreen Naidu. So hold it for you, too short. Let me switch up. Go more in, the camera can catch you.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to the lovely ladies before me and our royal viewers. Today I want to talk to you about something that is really close to home, the power of storytelling in the face of unimaginable hardship. I'm talking about humanitarian journalism, a kind of journalism that's more than just news. It's about connecting us to people who are living through some of the hardest times imaginable. And in a world where we can sometimes feel distant from these struggles, these stories help bridge that gap and remind us that we're all part of the same global family. Think about it. Every headline, every video, every photo we see about a crisis somewhere in the world has real people behind it. People who, like us, are just trying to live their lives, find joy, build their futures, and protect their loved ones. Journalists are out there in those places like Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan, and Congo, showing us the reality that might otherwise stay hidden. And by doing that, journalists bring a bit of hope, a bit of justice to situations that feel hopeless. Let's start with Palestine. For years, Palestinians have been living under an occupation that limits every aspect of their lives. Can you imagine growing up where movement is restricted, where violence is always a threat, where freedom feels like a distant dream? It's a struggle that's easy to overlook when it's not happening in your backyard. But the journalists working in Palestine are making sure that these stories get told. The stories of families torn apart, children growing up in a genocide zone, and communities still holding on to hope. When we hear those stories, we can't help but feel connected. We feel the fight for dignity and peace, and it's something we should care about. In Lebanon, the people are facing an overwhelming crisis. With the economy in free fall and the aftermath of the Beirut port explosion and the current genocide still looming large. Poverty, hunger, and a lack of healthcare have become daily battles. And it's not just about stats. It's about the real lives behind those numbers. Journalists there are showing us what it's like to live through this. The strength of people rebuilding after the explosion, and the refugees trying to start over. And the young people who are refusing to give up on their future. These stories that remind us of our shared resilience, and they call on us to care. And close to home, Congo. It is a country rich in resources, but plagued by violence and exploitation. When we hear about Congo, we might not always think about how its minerals power the tech we use every day, our cell phones, our computers. But behind that technology are children working in dangerous mines, communities torn apart by conflict, and women facing unthinkable violence. Journalists are putting their lives on the line to make sure we see what's really going on, reminding us that our world is connected in ways we don't always notice. The more we know, the more we can change. Now let's talk about Sudan. This is another heartbreaking example of how conflict can tear apart a country. Millions are displaced, facing hunger and insecurity every day. But even there, in the middle of that chaos, there are stories of courage, survival, and resilience. Journalists are there to capture this resilience, ensuring that the world doesn't forget about the people in Sudan. One organization doing incredible work in this space is Salam Media. We're giving a platform to those whose voices might otherwise go unheard, reporting on everything from the struggles in Palestine to the Uyghurs in China. Our mission is clear: to shed light on these human rights abuses and to make sure the world doesn't turn a blind eye. But here's the thing, being a journalist isn't easy. As journalists, we face physical danger, censorship, and the constant challenge of navigating misinformation. Yet we keep going. Why? Because we believe in the power of storytelling. We know that when we hear these stories, we connect, we feel empathy, we feel moved to act, and that's powerful. So, where do you fit in? We have more power than we realize. Our generation is more connected than any before us. We have the ability to use social media, our platforms, and conversations to spread awareness and make these stories matter to the people around us. Every post, every share, every conversation that starts because we've engaged with these stories can shift perspective and spark real change. We may not be able to solve every problem, but we can make sure the voices of people living through these crises are heard. We can choose to care, we can choose to share, to stay informed, to spread the word, to donate when we can, and to demand that the people in power pay attention. In the end, journalism isn't just about reporting, it's about humanity. It's about recognizing that we are all connected and that the pain, suffering, hope, and resilience we see in these stories are reflections of our shared humanity. In conclusion, humanitarian journalism is not merely an act of reporting. It is a powerful tool for change. It educates, informs, and inspires action, reminding us that we are all interconnected. As we gather here today, let us pledge to support and uplift the work of humanitarian journalists and organizations like Salam Media, ensuring their voices continue to resonate in the halls of power and across the globe. Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
Scream and shout further, Mari. Okay, so we see the important work that is coming from media houses like Salam Media. We know they play a role in keeping us aware of what is happening to our brothers and sisters in the other countries. We need to constantly and consistently be making dua and praying for the safety and for all of this violence to just end. You know, we don't ever want it to come to our doorstep. So we need to always feel, at least, at the very least, pray that everything becomes easy upon them, and this transitions that they are going through, we want it to end, right? But we are very aware of what the Quran says about certain situations. So the best that we can do is support, firstly, our media houses, make sure we are out there, we are spreading the word, we stand together, and we constantly and consistently making dua for these countries, inshallah. So now we're going to give you a little bit of a break. The best part of the event, the eating time. So alhamdulillah, we're going to have a meal. We're going to have some lovely cuisine, Asian cuisine, mashallah. We're going to take a break. It's about a 20-minute, 25-minute break, inshallah. And when we come back, we're going to get through to our panel discussion. And that is where nobody will remain silent in here. I'm relentless in making people speak and connect and network. That's what we are here for. Nobody came here for nothing, to just sit, okay? So make sure you prepare yourselves. Make sure you have the questions that you need to ask. And also, don't forget the challenge. This is the time to mingle. That's what networking is for. Collaborate and come out here with somebody who's going to make a difference to you, and you are going to make a difference to them. So we're going to take the break now. We'll see you guys in 25 minutes. Assalamu alaikum.